I finally watched season 2 of The Buccaneers, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was not expecting to like it, as I thought season 1 was kind of messy. However, in the book, while we jump ahead 2 years into Nan's unhappy marriage, and it has been literally 2 years since season 1, we pick right back up at the end of season 1 and are really following the growing up of these girls in season 2. And while I read a quote in relation to season 1 that discredited the Mainwaring's finishing of Edith Wharton's unfinished novel, and in a way that I originally read as a discrediting of the text, I revisited it and it really solidified that rather than discrediting, it was about not being beholden to the ending that Wharton laid out to whatever degree and that Mainwaring finished, because we are much more interested in the story of the girls at the center here. And so there are very significant changes that continue into season 2, including the introduction of Nan's biological mother, and spoiler alerts here, which was revealed in this first episode to be Leighton Meester, which I think was actually a really inspired choice, because in a lot of ways the Buccaneers feels in the vein of something like Gossip Girl, and it's a kind of symbolic passing of the torch at the same time that Gossip Girl itself is in conversation with works like Edith Wharton, from the introduction of the series and how Serena shows up mirroring the House of Mirth to a lot of the naming conventions and just the concept of gossip columns. But where this series is clearly still interested in the Wharton is in these complicated explorations of life after the ending of the marriage plot and all of the dangers that lurk for women within marriage, and the idea of growing up and having to make these really difficult decisions. And what I think that this season does really successfully is introduce a lot of parallelism and moral ambiguity, so that most of the plot lines are not simply black and white, but rather forcing us to kind of analyze the choices that the system and how the system is set up really reduces the options of all of our characters, which is in conversation, I think, as well with the current moment, especially with the rise of the kind of glorification of the trad wife aesthetic. This forces us to really stare down the realities of women's lives in the past, especially when they were beholden to men, and how the patriarchy hurts everyone, as well, of course, as having a delicious love triangle, multiple delicious love triangles. So is it the Wharton? No. Is it slightly campy and over the top at times? Yes. Is the dialogue better this season? Also yes. So I went into this really reserved, but I came out actually having a much better time than I anticipated.